All right, back to the conversation with the leader of the IFP, Velenkosini Hlabisa. So some people have been asking, why is it that the IFP continues to have you as president of the IFP and Inkosi Mangosuthu Buthelezi as president emeritus? Some are even speculating that perhaps you want to ride as much as possible on the brand of Inkosi Mangosuthu Buthelezi and affinity to him among those who have followed him for many, many decades before the shock comes in that actually he has exited the stage. Just talk to me a bit more about that. What's the thinking around having him somewhere on the stage while you are there as president as well?
Thulasizwe, let me come from this angle. If you have a building material, but you do not have a house, it will be very unwise of you not to utilize the building material in order for you to have the house. The IFP in 2019 resolved to accord Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi a status of President Emeritus. Why? Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi is still able to make meaningful contribution in our country. And his knowledge and experience is the resource almost the whole of Africa, if not the whole of the world, have. There is none throughout the world at his age who is still active and able to contribute meaningfully in a discussion. Look at him in the National Assembly. When it is time for him to contribute, everybody listens. Even if he stands up in the middle of the chaos, but everybody knows there stands the voice of reason. That is why we allowed him, that if God has allowed us of him to be amongst us as a resource, let us deploy him wherever we feel he will add value. As we are campaigning as an experienced person who have seen it prior 1994 and after 1994 up to now, the knowledge he has and the experience he has is a resource the IFP is benefiting on. Even South Africa as such, you know, Thulasizwe, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi has been an acting state president for more than 22 times. That is none like any other one in South Africa. If you have a person who has been respected and recognized by the ruling party to allow him to act as a president of a country while it is not his party, it should tell you that even the ANC, they know this is an asset which should be utilized fully by the country of South Africa. You know, I looked at President Cyril Ramaphosa today as he is on a campaign. He is wearing a T-shirt which bears Madiba's head. No one is going to complain, but people want to make an issue why the IFP T-shirts have Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi's head. As the IFP, we decided in 2019 to pay tribute to him while he is still alive and dedicated the year 2020. Unfortunately, COVID-19 could not allow us to celebrate his life. That is why we dedicated the 2021 local government elections to him, that this is a gift that we want to give him to honor all his contributions he has made in our country.
So that's a lot of pressure then that you have put on yourselves, because you will want that gift to have content and to be meaningful at the end of the elections. But without going back to that issue, while you were talking about Inkosi Mangosuthu Buthelezi and his leadership of the IFP, I'm sure I reveal nothing new to you when I say that there is some commentariat that continues to be critical of his role in history, but not only his role in history, really. I'm sure I'm telling you nothing new, that there are some in society who continue to raise issues of the IFP's past and the history of violence between the IFP and the ANC and various segments of society. How do you, as the IFP, grapple with that? Do you see it as some kind of a blot on your brand, or do you take the view that says we all have a history in this country and it's a checkered history for many, many formations, and it's unfair then to have the IFP blamed in the way that it happens among some in the commentariat?
Yeah, in fact, Thulasizwe, people who want to blame the IFP now and again on the issue of violence is because they are disappointed. They thought the IFP will be flushed out from the political space. Unfortunately, it has not. Madiba, he confessed that he used every weapon to destroy Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. Unfortunately, they could not. Now, if you look at violence, Thulasizwe, there is one common denominator. Violence between IFP and ANC, between ANC and PAC, between ANC and EFF. Whenever there is a violence in South Africa, there is one common denominator, which is ANC. If people were fair, the blame should be put at the doorstep of the common denominator, because everyone who has experienced violence in our country, it was with the ruling party, the ANC, which did not want to see any other person emerging as a competitor.
So let me ask you then, as we approach the end of this interview, I'm going to be trying to get some firm commitments on your part. Can you grow beyond KwaZulu-Natal? Because that would be quite limited. You could do exceptionally well in KwaZulu-Natal, do a clean sweep in the municipalities around Zululand district, and have a good show in various other municipalities, including eThekwini. But if you can't grow beyond KwaZulu-Natal, if you can't grow beyond the areas where you have a support base in Gauteng, you are unlikely to be a kind of a government in waiting or an alternative government in this country.
Thulasizwe, the people of South Africa will be my witness. When I took over in 2019, one commitment I made was to lead the IFP in expanding its footprint under the program Province to Province. Indeed, in 2019, I led the NEC full team. We went to Gauteng, spent 5 days. We went to Limpopo, spent 5 days. We went to Northwest, spent 5 days. We went to Mpumalanga, spent 4 days. We went to Free State and spent 4 days. And then COVID-19 kicked in March 2020. Since then, our program had not been able to go throughout South Africa, and I had made commitment in these provinces that it was not a touch and go. I said to them in 2019, November and early 2020, I will come 2 times more before the local government elections. Unfortunately, COVID-19 prevented us from doing so. As many people get vaccinated, next year, immediately after the festive season, I will embark on this campaign of expanding the footprint of the IFP, because at the end of the day, very soon, IFP will be a major component in the ruling of South Africa, because not too long from now, South Africa will be under a coalition government. But in 2024, our target is KwaZulu-Natal. Once we get hold of KwaZulu-Natal, with many municipalities, we will win this time around. We will be having a strong base from which to spread with many manpower, with a strategically placed to be able to target other provinces, so that as we move beyond 2024, we will be targeting to be part of the ruling of South Africa, not as a part of the legislature, but in the ruling either in a coalition, because soon the ruling party will be out of power.
Is eThekwini Metro within striking distance as far as you can see, either an outright win for the IFP or perhaps a coalition government led by the IFP?
Should it was not the COVID-19 limitations which made our programs not get off the ground on time, I will be able to make a commitment. But what I can say to Thulasizwe, we are working as much as we can to get as many votes as possible, to have as many councillors as possible, to have a major impact in the governance of eThekwini. As we all know, people of eThekwini have protested enough against poor service delivery, corruption, and it is time to vote the IFP because we have a track record. We once governed eThekwini. We had a record of delivering services. We had a record of not being corrupt. In any municipality we govern, people know when we make a promise, we keep it. You see, you spoke of the issue of electricity. The IFP run municipalities. In most of them, we are closer to the national compliance of getting 100% services in deep rural areas. I was at Melmoth yesterday. I was happy when the mayor of Melmoth informed the public that they have managed to pay the debt of Eskom, which many municipalities in urban areas are sitting with millions, unable to pay Eskom, let alone providing services to people. We are in a good shape now at Melmoth. More money that we will generate out of Eskom will be giving more electricity supply to our people, as well as in the municipalities that will govern after November elections.
All right, Velenkosini Hlabisa, thank you so much for your time and for engaging me on the various aspects around the IFP. As you say, Indlovu ivukile. Of course, coming from the emblem there that bears the image of those elephants there. It's been said a number of times. That's Velenkosini Hlabisa. It's something you will hear a lot if you spend some time at the Results Operations Center during elections. They'll be all over there, the leadership of the IFP, just monitoring that board, and you'd hear from time to time one of them saying, "Ivukile Indlovu is once again walking," after, of course, the difficulties they had all those years ago, a resurgent IFP. They launched their manifesto on the 30th of September.